This just in, the Vanquish VRD Carbon. Have you picked one up yourself, or are you going to get one? So Vanquish was kind enough to send me one of these kits. I was in the process of ordering a bunch of their F10 axles, I believe they're called, and Josh gave me a little heads up. Oh, no, it wasn't Josh. It was Brandon. Gave me a little heads up. Hey, we have something new coming out. Would you be interested in putting it together and giving them my ideas about it? So here we go. They actually did send this. So is this like a sponsored video, I guess? But I bought a lot of other extras for it at the same time. I mean, it was like exactly when I was buying the stuff. And yeah, so I'll just let you know what I have gotten for it so far. I got an aluminum front axle housing. These are the Curries. It is a single piece aluminum. I got these brass outers from Vanquish at the same time. As you can see, this kit has the servo on axle mount, and this is a plastic mount actually. And generally, I'll talk about this later, but the plastic molding on this is so good. Just generally quality, and I won't say that it's hard to get with plastic molding quality, but a lot of plastic molding in this world is really cheap, and this is not. Not only is the material, y'all have probably heard me do this before, but scratching it, I can hear the nylon with added glass content on these. It's a really hard, well, hard where it needs to be and soft where it doesn't need to be. Just generally good plastic, but the tolerances on the molding are really impressive. This is the rear housing that is just molded plastic, and there's no warping. It's got a lot of features, just generally well designed, and the mold is well done too. I could just talk about the weird machinist slash aspects of making this stuff, I suppose, for the entire video. But what I'm going to do while we talk about this really cool kit is I'm going to continue to make it. So I've been able to spend a few hours so far, and this is as far as I've gotten. I have put together the axles, and I have put together the chassis with the transmission. It all went together super easy. There was no difficulty, no fighting. The instructions are very well written, very easy to follow. So here we go. We got this, we got that, we got this, we got that, making sure. So the stock unit actually comes with knuckle weights that are cast, and I got the brass ones, and I was hoping that I could throw these lighter weight ones on the rear, but it's a little bit different, so that's not going to work. I might just use slightly weighted wheels for that, but we'll see. I'll keep this out right there, put this back, and we should be ready to restart. Yeah, so my thoughts overall, the axles go together really smoothly. I really like these axles as well, and I'll just show you on these F10s. The width of the F10s are less than the Capra, so you can't really see where the hexes are on this, but the threaded portions, the outers, go all the way to the edge of the wheels that I'm running right now. And so you can see, let's see, what will this be? Yeah, about a ½ inch, maybe a full inch less width as compared to a Capra axle, which for this particular build would actually work really well. With 1.9s, I like the size of this, but it is a little too wide in my opinion for 1.9s. It's more of a 2.2 build, and maybe I could extend the wheelbase just a teeny bit if I'm running 2.2s. But the next one that I build, because I do have, it's around here somewhere, I do have another one of these chassis, and I was going to replicate this. I'm going to use F10s, which I've got a box over there with even more sets of F10s. I'll probably do dual steer, and yeah. So I think I'm going to actually switch from those Capra portals to these F10 portals for a lot of my projects in the future. At least the ones where I want portals. All right, so where are we at? Bag C was our links. I got all the links built. I used the TGH speed wrench, I believe it's called, and my my shock pliers that I have said many times, there's no need to get a set of shock pliers, and these get used more than anything, absolutely anything in my arsenal. They get used like mad. So, all right, where are we at? I bolted in the transmission into the chassis, and it looks like I may have forgotten to put my skids or sliders on first. So I should probably go back and add those sliders. There's one slider, or is that both sliders? That is both sliders in the bag. Do I have scissors here still? I don't have scissors. That'll be, oh, I do have scissors. Traxxas body shears, there we go. So these are stamped aluminum. Neat. These aren't gonna break. And as you can see, this kit does have a 6-degree angled skid on there. So this would be considered something like a class 2 rig. If you're into Sorca rules competitions, this would be class 2 compatible, class 2 legal in pretty much all the ways. If you're not into competing, it's just gonna be a cheater, an LCG rig, if you will. It does not come with a body, it does not come with electronics, and it does not come with wheels and tires, so you will have to provide those. But other than those, you do not have to provide anything. All right, so I'm going to take this skid plate off. I do have the Vanquish tools with little 1/4-inch drivers here, and more than likely this is going to be the 2mm for the bolts on the skid plate. Yes, indeed. I got this old Black & Decker gyro, or a gyro, if you're eating the sandwich-like thing. Is a gyro a sandwich? I think a gyro's a sandwich, practically. So what's really nice is that they included battery straps, 2 battery straps, so that you could put a battery on either side of these sliders. And on a scale rig, it's really nice. You do have actual room to put batteries in. That is quite nice. All right, so there's really only one way that we can do this. It's gonna have to match up to our skid plate and the angles. There we go. One goes one way, one goes the other way. So this is the proper one. One interesting thing that I have found, oh, I'm gonna have to put this, take that off, this and that. One interesting thing that I have found with this build is that I can actually tell with the design of all of this that this is Vanquish. So the shape of the chassis, it's, we could say similar to other LCG chassis on the market, but only in that it's carbon and it has things bolted to it, really. And also, while I'm talking about the carbon, this stuff is super hard. And I wanted to not put this together so I could show you on camera, but slapping these 2 carbon rails together sounds like ceramic. It is such a well done piece of composite. I'm really impressed with the composite of these chassis. And also the edge and the finish is extremely good too. Just very well done, polished edges on all of this. The machining work on everything that is machined is absolutely stellar. So even if it is not being made in-house by Vanquish, they have partnered with companies that know what the hell they're doing, and that is important. So let's see, we're gonna use the old, didn't think I'd ever need them here. We're gonna use those. In a kit like this, for the affordability level, it's really tough, of course, to have something that's completely made in the USA and be affordable with all the other kits that are coming from essentially China or Taiwan. And I do believe this is a Taiwanese made kit, designed all in the US. Let's see, is it, does it say on this side? It does not, but it's more than likely Taiwan, which, you know, that's, was wondering why these screws seemed a teeny bit long. Another thing to notice is that we have these very thin upper links for weight savings and very thick lower links for heavier weight down low. And these actually have rolled threads on them. These bigger ones are going to be cut threads, and these little ones, the threads are actually a larger diameter than the actual body of it itself, which indicates that they are rolled threads, which I think is really cool. It's just the same way that we would make a spoke. And yeah, I just nerd out on small details of manufacturing, I guess. But rolled threads are cool. All right, I am going to attempt to hold this in place. We're gonna grab the proper side. Oh, what? I didn't need to take that one off. Dang it. Oh well. Need to take the back one off. Let's see if I can get this in. This one was such a pain in the butt. Like I should have just, nope, it's, yeah, I'm gonna, nope, nope. That one is better to put on with the, when the plates are off the chassis and before the skid plate is in there. So I'll take it off this side. Oh, I can't even get the bolt in though, I think. See, I got out of order on the instructions, and then now we're having to figure things out. Oh yeah, I gotta do it in the proper order. We're gonna undo my stupidity here. So this goes in. And this goes there, hopefully. Oh, come on, you can do it, you can fit. I took it out so I know it can go in. You'll see me struggle on camera. This is why we read instructions. You know that I don't like doing that, but I'll do it just for y'all. Oh, it's so close. Get in there. Go to your home. Nope. All right, this is the point to where I basically say, I'm gonna fix this off camera. No, I'll just make y'all suffer through this with me. All right, we're fixing the problems that I had, not looking, I guess, carefully enough at the instructions. I'm putting on my skid plates, side plates, sliders, whatever you call them. What do you call them? You let me know. And I must say that the skid plate on these things, molded plastic, but extremely well done. It's all honeycombed out. Honeycomb, honeycomb, me want honeycomb. But it's a very nice hard plastic, very slippy, slidey, high density molded. And for molded, the tolerances are really great. As I've said on other parts, it is fantastic. All right, I'm gonna have to stop trying to show this to the camera and look from my own self here. Why aren't you going in the hole? Why are you not lined up? There we go. There we go. Go get this guy. So this VRD carbon just came out, and it was on the heels of the Red Cat, whatever, Ascent, I think it's called. Red Cat just came out with their own sort of like LCG slash cheater, kind of like a class 2 rig. And the Red Cat is ready to run, and it's like $600 and or $300. It's a Red Cat. And this one, being a kit, is around the same price. I'd have to look again. Like I said, this was given to me as a, hey, check this out. And I mean, the quality of components are going to be different levels coming from Vanquish or Red Cat. Red Cat is made to a price point, which of course Vanquish is as well. Any product's pretty much made to a price point, I suppose. Ah, oh dear. No, we don't. Oh, no, nope. Don't want to lose that. But this one is not quite as affordable as a Red Cat RTR. Of course, I don't think there is anything on the market that is as affordable as a Red Cat RTR. But I can guarantee that the axles on the Vanquish are going to take a lot more punishment. That's one thing that over the years we have seen is... There we go. Yeah. Perfect. All right. Now we're back at it. We are back to where we need to be. We are done with bag C, I do believe. Now, I didn't bolt everything in fully because, well, I suppose it'll be easy enough to get a motor in and out if I take this plate off. So I should probably bolt the transmission in all the way. I've got a couple of bolts missing here. I should have thrown them into here. So we'll just continue on with fixing our mistakes. And I don't have a drive for this size, which I think is 2.5. Yeah, 2.5 millimeters for some of these. So we'll just do it by hand. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. All in all, though, I'd say this kit goes together extremely easily as long as you read the instructions for your order of operations. And everything is made to be easily accessible as well for working on it. I do like that the skid plate is 4 bolts in and out. I'm not a real big fan about the lower links also being on the same holes. And I did notice that the skid plate pattern for this is just slightly off of SEX10/AX10 standards. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to use this transmission and skid plate setup for something like the Bastard Junior, or I can't throw it into most of my other rigs, which is sort of a shame. But at the same time, this is a all-new rig. As far as everything that Vanquish has been engineering for the past couple of years, all their rigs are completely new, so I can understand that they may need to change that skid plate bolt pattern a little bit. But that would be kind of cool if we'd seen a little bit more cross compatibility with parts like that. But you know, c'est la vie. We can't stick to that SCX10 skid plate bolt pattern forever in the market. Maybe we could try, I guess, but all right, so should I bolt in the front of this transmission into the rails? I suppose I should go ahead. We will just finish this up. So we got these little bitty button heads in the bag. As you can see, I just threw all the extra parts that I did not put on yet into a bag. And there's some extra parts that come with it as well. I'll probably need some of them here in a little bit. And which size is it? Oh, this one. You know, I'd probably make a set of these drivers that are cut down at some point, because this is a little long for most uses. If I need something that's really long, I'd probably just grab the one with the manual handle and do it that ways. Manual handle. Do you like screwing everything in by hand, or do you also use a little bit of electric assist? Oh, I guess it'd help if I had it lined up proper. Come on, sit, sit. You can do it. Go into your hole. Oh, it's just not wanting to. Fine, we'll try another hole. Wrong hole, fool. I don't know if anybody ever gets that joke. Maybe somebody out there. Oh, come on, you're right there. We're having technical difficulties. Oh, it's just barely not lined up. Barely. There we go. I got it now, guys. I thought I had it. I didn't have it. There it is. You get to hear the full brunt of it. Ring, 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 ring. Perfect. Now, usually I'd be using my impact, but I think it might be a little overkill, but it's a lot faster, I can tell you that, as compared to this gyro, which I don't even know if they make these anymore. Super handy. Nice thing about these gyroscopic ones is you can get it all the way there and then just tighten up the last little bit by hand and kind of adjust how much torque it's applying just by rotating your wrist. They are a little strange at first. But once you get used to them, really handy. Saves the wrist. I was starting to get, I've had carpal tunnel before, and I think it was actually from wrenching so much in my early 20s. So this helps a lot, because with a kit like this, you're literally spending hours and hours doing like this, and it can become a lot for a wrist to deal with. All right, we got that mounted. We've got the transmission mounted solid. I haven't thrown in the motor yet, which the instructions tell you to do, but what I shall do is just take off this skid plate, which mounts there, and then I can get to where the motor mounts in. I think I'm probably going to throw in a 540M revolver, our Team Spec 1850 kV, or I'm going to throw in a 10-pole Crawlmaster Inrunner, and either one I'll run sensorless. I'm not planning on competing with this rig. If I was going to compete, I would use a brush system so that I could reverse really fast forwards and backwards and still have a really good throttle feel. Some of you may also like the Fusion. However, if it's going to be a competition rig, I wouldn't throw that much weight into this portion of the vehicle. Just personal preference on that. But I can understand if you like the way that the Fusion drives and just being easy kind of plug and play into the system. But that's more weight than I would want to put in this crawler in that position personally. All right, so we got shocks next. I can probably, let's see, we'll bolt up the axles first. It says I need 40mm slider center, so you just put it right there, and hey, that's 40mm. Do we also use 40mm for the rear? Nope, we'll use 50mm for the rear, it looks like. So, and then we'll get into bag G, it looks like. Yeah, bag G. I've already gotten into bag G. Nope, or yep. Wait, where's bag E? Did I forget bag E? Oh, that was my shocks that I purchased, pre-assembled. Here we go. All right, back on track here, back on track. Bag E is the shocks. So yeah, bag G, there we go. That'll be the next one. So as you can see, it just takes some time. Ooh, I also need a disc. Ooh, still love using these for parts trays. Hey, we have a little shim on there too for our transmission output. I'm gonna throw that into this bag before I lose it. I still like using discs for my parts trays. This is a Habit from Plastic Addicts. It is a very flippy putt and approach disc, and as you can probably see, it got warped really fast, so it's extra flippy. So yeah, it's a parts disc now. It is definitely parts stiff. If it gets a little greasy or whatever, it'd be terrible for playing with because that grease is gonna try to stay on there forever. But for a parts disc, it works great. So there we go. All right, the next thing we're gonna be bolting in, it looks like shocks first. So it says, I'll grab some shocks. So for this build, I unintentionally went lazy. I got 90mm pre-built shocks from Vanquish. These are the Incision 90mm scale shocks. And I got them for some other builds that I wanted them for, and it turns out that 90mm is perfect for this. In the kit, you can actually determine how long you want to build your shocks with the various options that they have in there. So I'm using these mostly out of laziness. I really don't want to build a set of shocks right now, and I can always build the ones in the kit later or use them for parts. So I'm gonna be lazy today and just bolt these right up. 90mm turns out is just perfect anyways. Like I said, I was already buying a whole bunch of parts anyways to rebuild some other rigs. And honestly, I think the 90mm were supposed to be for this, but I've got some others over there too. I've also got some 80s. All right, so these are extra parts, which we probably won't use. Oh, I may need the tops. Let's see, how do they have this for the shocks? We'll go back to the shock building and see what they say. All right. Oh, neat. Looks like these shocks have like a bleed hole on them. That's really cool. Neat. I like it. I like it. These are cool. Well, we'll go with these anyways. A little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of don't chop your finger off, but maybe use a nice pair of side cutters. There we go. Well, I'm going to keep on wrenching on this, so thanks for tuning in to the first part of the VRD carbon competition kit build. There we go. Set of good side shears. Flush cutters from Drivetrain are worth their weight in gold here. So we're going to keep wrenching on it, and thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.